This is going to be a quick little story time about how I went to a salon for the first time in over a decade and trusted somebody else with my hair, and they ruined it. I'm gonna sit down and get situated on my bed to tell the story, but I wanted to show you guys closer to the window the current state of my hair, and then we'll explain. And my question of the day shall be, has your hair ever been ruined by somebody that you trusted with it? Let me know. We can bond about it. So, I know it doesn't look, depending on your opinion, does or doesn't look super crazy at the moment, but I will explain all of that. My natural hair color is very, very dark. My roots are still that color. My natural hair color is like super dark brown, almost black. And I've been getting a few sporadic grays. Since I was 17, but they've been picking up more in recent years. So I was like, okay, either to make it look uniform, I can dye it with like a box color, the same color as my roots, and then everything will be even, or I can go to a salon, do something fun, do something crazy. Because when your hair is a virgin, when it doesn't have any previous dyes or treatments or lighteners in it, it's super easy for people who know what they're doing to work with and pretty much give you whatever you want. So I decided to bite the bullet and do something fun. Well, the cheapskate in me was shopping around for somebody that had pictures to where it looked like they knew what they were doing, but also wasn't the most expensive place. So first I went to a consultation at a salon with this gay dude who seemed like he was really good at what he did, and he quoted me $350 something for low end for what I wanted, or $390 something for high end, which what does that even mean? You're just gonna do less of a good job for $30 cheaper? I didn't really understand that. And then another salon I was messaging on Instagram said it would be like $370 starting. So around the same thing. And I'll insert pictures here of what I was looking to get color-wise. I was looking to keep my length, get my layers cleaned up, and get sort of a color like these. Some natural red tone, warm toned highlights with tons of my dark brown still in. You know what I mean? Okay. So I also messaged this lady on this app called STYLIST, and she was about $100 cheaper than the other people that I talked to, which, it's still like high 200s, which is, well, mid, depending on how you tip. You're supposed to tip 20%. Anyway, she happened to live like 45 minutes north of me, and her salon was a converted RV. And I was like, that's fine, she can afford to charge less because she owns her business. The salon is in an RV, yeah, but it's got like sinks and stuff, and it's mirrors, and it's set up like a salon, so what's the worst thing that could possibly happen, right? And all of her reviews were positive, though there were only like 10, which should have been a red flag, because I guess that could easily just be friends and family or something. So anyway, I go there, and at first I go to the wrong place, which was actually like 15 minutes north of where she was at, because she never updated her address on Apple Maps. Anyway, I text her, I'm like, I'm so sorry. She didn't say sorry for not updating my address. She's just like, it's fine. So I drove back down. I got to the right place. I brought her a charcuterie. I thought that'd be a nice gesture because she said it was going to be like 5 hours. So meat, cheese, crackers, nuts, and like mustard and stuff, and it was all set up really cute. I had my bag with like ice packs and stuff in it, and I brought treats for her dog because she has this little dog that's also part of what sold me on her. She has this little dog, this little Jack Russell, that comes with her to salon and like sleeps on your lap, and it's so cute. Okay, so anyway, I go there, bring her charcuterie, and then she's like, oh, my dog can't have those treats. And they were like Trader Joe's treats. They were like nice treats, but she's like, no, better not. I don't know why. She gives them like other fancier treats, I guess. Whatever, not a big deal. I can bring them home and give them to Moosey. Also, I find out she has a critical peanut allergy. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm bringing you like crackers and a charcuterie thing, and you can't have nuts, and the crackers could have traces of nuts. And she's like, no, I just have to stay away from like the pistachio compartment, but I also don't eat red meat. But she was like feeding the red meat that I brought to her dog and the cheese to her dog, and that was fine. And we ate a little bit of it anyway. I don't know why I'm rambling about charcuterie now, but isn't that crazy? You're like, everybody likes charcuterie, and it just so happens that she doesn't eat red meat and she has a nut allergy. What are the odds? Anyway, so we're sitting down in the seat. She's getting ready to do my hair. I'm being hyper specific. I had already sent her pictures of what I wanted, pictures of what I don't want, like harsh lines and like an ombre look. I hate that. So I was like, I don't want that. I will cry if it ends up like that. Please don't do that. But she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm like good at what I do, color corrections. Like that's like my main gig. I do color corrections, so I would never mess up. I'm so good at it. Anyway, she's being all braggadocious. She seems really confident that she knows what she's doing, so I'm like, okay, cool. But she also insists that we're gonna have to bleach my hair to get it light enough for the red to show up, which the other salons that I talked to said that they wouldn't have to do that because my hair was virgin. They're like, you can just use a high lift red on it and it should be a lot more gentle. But she's like, no, they're wrong, your hair's too dark, we're gonna have to use bleach. And I'm like, I trust you, girl. We used bleach. She left it on for a really long time. Like the bottom layers, she wasn't checking them on them or anything. It had been like 40 minutes before she got to the top layers, and she was just like rambling or whatever. So at one point I was like, my hair's not gonna like melt off, is it? And she's like, no, but like we can rinse out the bottom if it would make you feel better. I'm like, I trust your judgment, like whatever you think. And then like a couple minutes later she's like, yeah, let's rinse it out. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm glad I said something. So anyway, we rinse it out. She doesn't rinse out this one chunk on the back of my head because she doesn't notice it, so that one stayed on for way too long. And her seats aren't adjustable, and she's short and I'm taller, and she has me like hanging my head over the back of the sink for her to wash my hair, and it's like it hurts, and I'm like in an uncomfortable position. And she has this weird like inflatable pillow thing around my neck so that my clothes don't get wet, but it's choking me, and she can see me like holding onto it like this, and she doesn't say anything or offer to adjust it, but I'm like just like trying not to choke. And after she was done rinsing my hair, I had like a red line all around my neck. Anyway, she also got dye and bleach on my vintage Victoria's Secret, not my vintage Juicy Couture tracksuit hoodie. So anyway, she washes out the bleach and we go over to the chair so that she can, like, I assume, dry it, put the color on and stuff. So she's ripping through my wet hair, which if you know anything about bleach, you're not supposed to like rip through it. You're supposed to brush it gently because it's really fragile after it's been bleached, but she's like ripping. And I never brush my hair that aggressively when it's wet, even whenever it hasn't just been bleached. But I'm like, okay, how bad can it be? It's gonna be fine. And then she puts the color on my hair while it's still wet, which I'm like, I didn't know you could put color on wet hair. And she's like, oh yeah, totally. It's actually better. So I'm like, okay, what do I know? So she puts the color on my wet hair, and then yeah, we process that for like another 20 minutes, and then she rinses it out. I'm dying by the sink again, and I had to trim next because I wanted her to clean up my layers because I've always just been cutting my own hair, and I'm like, I'm sure it's not that great, so can you fix it more for me? And she cuts off like the teeniest. I said 2 inches. I said I want 2 inches to get all the dead stuff. She cuts off this much, and for layering she like pulls up a couple pieces of my wet hair and just does the like one on each side, and that's it. And the haircut portion was $70 of it. She's like, oh yeah, actually your layers weren't that bad. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So then she goes to dry it and style it, and it's really not that great for your hair to be dried and have a bunch of heat used on it right after you just bleached it and you just dyed it. But she insisted because she needed to see the final look. Well, now I know that's something that hairstylists do whenever they're trying to like hide flaws. So she curled it and stuff. I look stupid with curled hair, by the way. And I'm like, you don't have to do this. She's like, no, I want to. And she's like ripping through it with more brushes, and she's using all this heat on it. And it's dark in there, mind you. That should have been one of my first red flags. The RV was dark. There was a ring light like on that like YouTubers use and stuff. There was a ring light set to dim and like some natural light coming in through the windows, but not much, and all of her other lights were shut off. Like she had lights around the mirrors and stuff, they were all off. Poncho, the asshole neighbor dog, is barking his little head off, but I guess we're just gonna keep filming because this isn't really like an ASMR specific video anyway. This is more of a story time, so I'm sorry about the douchebag over there. So I can barely see it whenever I am in the RV and I'm like getting ready to leave. And she hands me, because I already paid a deposit on the app, she hands me this little, like, you know, the payment processor thing on her phone. She's like, okay, sign here, and it has a tip option at the top. But the app already tells you that it'll automatically take out 20% but you have like 3 days after the appointment to dispute it if something's wrong. So I just hit the button that said charge automatic 20% in the app. And she looked at it whenever I signed, and like her vibe changed. Like I think she was pissed that I didn't put in a tip then and there. And I didn't want her to think that I wasn't gonna tip at all, but like I wanted to like get home, look at my hair, and then like process if she deserved a tip, especially after all like the craziness that went on at the actual appointment, which I'm glad that I did that. I got home, and the next day I could like see, not even the next day, my hair was orange. It was super orange, like way more orange than what I wanted in my inspo pictures. Like I wanted to keep a lot more of my natural hair natural. So orange, and then roots, like solid fucking lines where the bleach started and my hair color started. And I told her specifically that I was afraid of that happening, and I didn't want it to happen. So I took the tip off and I was like, okay, I will be able to fix this stuff myself. It's just like a couple spots. I'll figure it out. But then the day after that, I was looking at the back of it in the mirror, and it was so much worse than I thought. So I texted her, and I texted her very nicely, and I will put a screenshot of exactly what I texted her. And I was just like, and I sent her pictures. I was just like, hey, this is like really blotchy and not really what I wanted, but I'm gonna have to pay somebody else to get it fixed. No hard feelings, but I'm really just asking for a refund. Like, you can clearly see from the pictures how messed up it is. She didn't respond. I gave her like a day and a half, and then I decided that I would message her on the booking app too. So there was like a record, and in case she didn't see her personal text messages, which I don't know why she wouldn't, then she could look over there. And she blocked me on the booking app. It says that she's booked up forever now, and in the messages it says this conversation is no longer available and I can't send any other messages. So next I messaged the app and I was like, hey, this lady messed up my hair, here's the pictures. She blocked me on your app, so is there anything that we can do to get a refund? And they just kept saying, work it out with her, like a copy paste message about you should work it out with the stylist. We don't have any control over that. So I reiterated again, and then they messaged me the same thing again. I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna file a chargeback. So the mail lady is walking around, so Poncho's gonna lose his absolute shit again. So anyway, yeah, I filed a chargeback with my bank. They are processing it, but it looks pretty good in my favor because she blocked me. That's not exactly good business. But my hair, also, the reason that it looks greasy right now, it's not. It has a bunch of coconut oil in it, because if it doesn't have a bunch of coconut oil in it, like my conditioner is not touching it anymore. Like my conditioner won't soak in. It's just dry and frizzy and unhealthy and horrible. So, oh, also the reason that it doesn't look like the pictures anymore, like it's a darker red and it's a little bit more like what I asked for, is because I went over it with a semi-permanent root color and a semi-permanent deeper red than the orange copper color, and it looks a lot better for now. But I'm gonna have to figure out some sort of more permanent solution, and some sort of solution that keeps me from having to keep coconut oil all the time, so that it doesn't look like a frizz ball, because now it looks frizzy. I mean greasy, but greasy is better than frizz ball, in my opinion. That's where we're at. I learned my lesson that I just shouldn't shouldn't touch my hair anymore. So I can either go to a good salon, pay an arm and a leg, have them professionally fix everything, or I can just dye it over permanent box color with my root color again, which is what I would have done anyway before the appointment, but then my hair would have been healthy, and now it's so unhealthy, and it feels like kind of a shame to get rid of the little lightened bits since they're there now. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of how it looks right now with the darker reds, and maybe I can try to figure out a way to do that in a more permanent way. I don't know. We shall see. But that's the moral of the story. Don't trust hairdressers in RVs in Florida that are from Boston, Massachusetts. She did say that people refer to them as massholes, and I can see why. Sorry if any of you are from Boston, Massachusetts. If you have an answer to my question of the day, please answer it so that I know I'm not alone. Let me know when somebody fucked up your hair. I know a lot of you are men, and you know, you guys don't deal with. I mean, if your hair gets messed up, it's like usually shorter, so you can grow it out. It's not as big of a deal. I've been growing this for a long time. Anyway, let me know if you can relate at all. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed my misfortune. Thank you so much, patrons, for all of your support, and I